so loud.
Are we supposed to go now? I didn't get the little that you normally do.
I gave you the little potato.
I wouldn't.
Go, Bo.
Get me an actual drum set back
Are
here.
we still?
Pick'em show, week 4.
Hey, welcome to the week 4 Pick'em show. Didn't know we were supposed to go, but we went.
I gave you the little da-da.
You did, boom.
Yes, I did.
Welcome inside our beautiful, cozy little studio here at our studios.
Which studios are we at?
We're at 1102 Thompson Bridge
Singular.
Road, by the way.
Okay.
Don't give the people our address.
Oh, why not?
That's just,
Are you afraid?
Yeah.
There are several fan
They
bases.
can Google it.
There
I
are
like
several
how-
fan bases that are looking for us, Bo.
I like how
Thank
Walker
you.
cackled because he would never have to deal with any ramifications.
I know.
Not one
Walker's just like, oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're going to set up a meeting. We're going to set up a meeting with Walker and Jody Kinney later on today, and they can discuss last week's action together.
I'm just glad it's not me in Chestatee. Now it's Walker in North Hall.
That's all right.
We're having
That's right.
beef.
You know, God bless.
Oh, I got some hate mail.
No hate mail.
Caleb definitely
Look,
got
here's the
some
thing.
from the sidelines of
I had a
Cherokee Bluff
very,
game.
I
very
did.
nice and friendly
Yeah,
exchange
right?
as
You
soon
picked
as
North Hall. You were
I
like
did
the
pick
only
North
one
Hall,
that picked
but
North Hall.
I wasn't down on the sideline. Were there people?
Oh, to me.
What?
Oh, what happened?
Why
What
does,
was
why does
Share,
Jody
please.
Kinney
Just
want to
the
have
general
a
stuff,
word
just
with me?
like-
That's the
Share
question.
Well,
with-
Ked's like, well, we made Caleb eat that one, didn't we?
I did.
You know, yeah.
I had a very
Wait, you picked North Hall?
I did. I was the only
Okay.
one here.
That's
I
right,
was-
you
I
were.
was, I was
Yeah.
just trying to save the graphic.
I'm not saying like it's like, wow, you picked North Hall. I'm just saying, you know,
So why
As
does Jody
I-
Kinney
I-
want to have a word with me?
he just wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm only kidding.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm good with talking
Look,
to fans.
I love a
I just wanted to
passionate
know
fan-
what it came from.
I love a passionate fan base, and North Hall is a very passionate
very
fan base,
passionate.
and love all the people over there. Had a great exchange as soon as I got out of the car at the parking lot in Cherokee Bluff, and they were real nice. And we discussed the game going in, and I think it was really interesting. They just kind of like, how'd y'all come to your picks, and how do you know? And I was like, to be honest,
Did you say
with
we
that
just pick them?
I said, with that game, I literally, when it came out of my mouth, that's what happened. I didn't really know what I was going to pick because it was kind of a toss-up game for me, the way it looked at. But they go, well, y'all picked, like, everybody. Y'all,
Were you surprised with the outcome?
I was. I really thought it was going to be a close game. And it was early, but I think Cherokee Bluff, we were wondering just how good and balanced they are, and I think they showed that. And, you know, I think they had the best player on the field, which is KT Thompson, and he did a little bit of everything. They were able to get some traction offensively a little bit more than North Hall.
Well,
and that was kind of the difference.
You talk about KT Thompson being a difference maker. The difference maker to me was the offensive line for Cherokee Bluff because we were talking to Tommy Jones afterwards. I don't know any way to describe it other than just road grading. I mean, they ran the ball effectively when they wanted to.
Right.
And they came out from the opening drive of the game. They were clearly attacking the right side of the line of scrimmage.
Huge holes.
And Connor Griffin and Jackson Perkle, they were getting 2 or 3 yards before contact, and then those two guys, you give them a head of steam, they're going to get some yards after contact, and that's what happened. And I was very impressed with their running game. That, to me, it didn't necessarily surprise me, Bo. You asked about surprise. It didn't necessarily surprise me that Cherokee Bluff won because I expected this to be a very close game.
Yeah,
It
you
surprised
picked
me.
North Hall.
Because I thought it was going to be a very close game. Like I said, it wouldn't have shocked me that Bluff won. It shocked me how dominant they were in that win, especially there in the running game.
Yeah, it was a tough game to pick regardless because of the past meetings. I mean, it was only 6 years old now, 7?
Yeah, something like that.
In all close games. So you kind of expected that this was going to be another one of those games where it was going to be a typical Cherokee Bluff North Hall game. And in the end, Cherokee Bluff really proved that, hey, we're back. You know, and nothing against the last couple years, but seriously, Cherokee Bluff says, hello, we are back.
Walker, is that what we take from that game, you think, that Cherokee Bluff is back more than there's anything wrong with North Hall? I don't think there's anything wrong with North Hall. They're still working out some things. I think North Hall is going to be just fine. But is that more of the statement?
Well, I think it even goes down to more so of North Hall's working through some things, but we kind of knew that the secondary was the best part of their defense, right? I mean, they slowed down Wesleyan. That's where they had most of their returners coming back, and Cherokee Bluff likes to run the ball a lot more than Wesleyan does. So I think that kind of, is more of a telltale sign of it was just a bad matchup really for North Hall. I feel like more so than anything. And I don't know if we want to just kind of go ahead and get into this, Bo, but this East Hall North Hall game, I think, is a better matchup for the Trojans because East Hall is going to try and throw the football all over the field with Jamarcus Harrison. Look a little bit, maybe not as.
But don't forget one thing. You're forgetting one thing.
What?
Jamarcus Harrison can run the ball as well. So
yes,
there's going to be kind of a different dynamic that they're going to see. Yeah,
absolutely. But Ben Brown likes to get out of the pocket too for Wesleyan. Like it's not like Ben Brown's afraid to run the football. He's just a better passer than I think Jamarcus Harrison is. But Jamarcus Harrison's a better runner than Ben Brown is. So I think there's a lot of similarities, Jeff, in this Wesleyan and East Hall in terms of how North Hall can match up with them. Can they keep Jamarcus Harrison in the pocket? I think is the biggest key.
Well, I did a feature. I did a little feature on East Hall in the middle of the week. They haven't won this game in 23 years. Most of them have not been close, except for the last, I guess 16, 17. I turned my entire phone off, and it still went off. So I give up on all this. It's
You're not the
phone's fault.
The phone going off is kind of evidence that the phone was not even off.
Well,
totally
I
the
don't know what
phone's
to
fault.
tell you.
I turned it off, but it still is on.
Look, I give up on all this technology stuff.
We understand. It's always a technology
Listen, I think this is a big game. This is a gut check game, I think, for North Hall because of the way the Cherokee Bluff game went down. I think they walked out of Wesleyan. We talked to Sean Pender last week in person on Thursday Night Quarterbacks, and They didn't like that they lost to Wesleyan. They really wanted to win that game. They thought they could, and they could have won that game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe should have.
Should have. I think they certainly felt they should have.
Right.
But they kind of walked out there with their heads held high.
Right.
You know what? It's an early non-region game at a good team. They did not walk out of the Cherokee Bluff with their heads held high last Friday.
No.
And there are some times where a team runs the ball as well as Cherokee Bluff did, and you kind of – if you're the team on the other end of that, sometimes you get the sense from the opposing coach that they kind of expected it would be tough to slow down the running game. And then there are times where you talk to a coaching staff and you get a vibe like they're pretty confident they can hold up. And I think North Hall was pretty confident they were going to be able to hold up to that running game. I think they were confident they were going to go in there and beat Cherokee Bluff. I think North Hall walked out of there stunned last Friday. And I think that is why this is a gut check game to me, because this is a get off the mat situation here for North Hall, and they need to. And East Hall is a team I think they can beat, and they need to get some momentum before they go into what is going to be a pretty balanced region schedule where I don't think there's a clear favorite right now.
How much does the 14-game losing streak for East Hall play into this matchup this year? When you have East Hall coming into it, averaging 40 points a game, they're giving up 8 points, 7 points a game. On the flip side, North Hall is giving up 30 points a game and averaging about 17 points a game. So you got these two dynamics coming in. But then again, when you take both schedules and you put it together, North Hall's two opponents are 5-1, East Hall's 3 are 1-7. So how does that play into this game?
Well, I think it does play into this game. As I was before my phone decided to go off. When I talked to Matt Turner, who was on the last East Hall team that beat North Hall, he didn't play in that game. He said he was injured, but he was on the 2000 team and played, and that was the last team that was the East Hall team that won at the Brickyard. It's been 23 years since they've won. They know the streak is there. They want it to go away. He thought they had a great shot, and they did in 2016 and 17 with those teams with Austin Parker. Just didn't work out. He feels this is their best shot since then, and I think they're going into this game confident. They would love to get rid of the streak. I don't know if it's prominent in their minds because, it's just a different matchup. But when you haven't beaten somebody for that long, you have to be thinking about it a little bit. To me, guys, I think the key to this game, Walker, is the East Hall defense. If it's as good as the numbers are showing against the schedule that they've had, and we knew Oglethorpe could score some points. They held them down. So, and very similar type of offense with North Hall. If the East Hall defense shows up and is as good as we are hoping they are, that to me is the key to this game.
Well, and Caleb, you said that this is a gut check game for North Hall. How big of a game is this for East Hall in terms of their trajectory into 8-3A. We've been saying for 3 weeks now how wide open 8-3A is with Oconee 0-3. Again, their schedule really, really tough. Jefferson's figuring things out. Monroe area is really good. Cherokee Bluff's 3-0. East Hall's 3-0. West Hall's figuring it out. There are 6 teams in that region that all are in the conversation for the playoffs. East Hall might need this win, arguably maybe even more than North Hall does, just to kind of keep their trajectory on the up and up, Caleb. North Hall, like you said, is in a region that doesn't really have a clear favorite at this point either in 6-3A, but East Hall is in a much tougher region. They might need this win more.
Well, and it would be a huge signature win for Matt Turner is the other part of that. And it's his 4th year there at East Hall, and he's an East Hall guy. He's been trying to build them up. They have been young basically every year he's been there. They're not young this year. No. They've got experience across the board, basically. And so I think this is a very big spot for them. The thing I'm kind of watching this game from all aspects. How does the North Hall defense, or how does the East Hall defense, I should say, hold up against North Hall? How can the East Hall offense protect Jamarcus Harrison, allow their playmakers to get in space? Because East Hall has playmakers. They have guys that can hurt you if you let them get in position. Can East Hall's line of scrimmage and their game plan and all of that allow those guys to get in position to do that? That is a big question to me. The other question I have for North Hall is, we saw the 2 quarterback system for the first 2 games with Alex Schliemann and Smith McGarvey. And Schliemann started the first couple drives against Cherokee Bluff. It was basically all Smith McGarvey the rest of the game. He did some good things, had a couple mistakes. We saw Schliemann right at the very end of the game. What is that looking like? Because McGarvey got such a majority of the snaps in the Cherokee Bluff game, does that mean that we're closer to seeing McGarvey kind of taking over as the starter? Mm-hmm. Or was that just kind of Sean Pender and staff feeling the game out, and they're going to continue to alternate the 2 of them moving into this game?
Yeah, well, talking to Pender last Thursday on T&Q, and he was kind of explaining, his 2 quarterback system and that he's won with it before. So that's an interesting point you made, because we know that Coach Pender is all in on the 2 quarterback system at North Hall. So who's going to get more reps down the road is interesting, and that take obviously is very interesting. But then you look at on the flip side of it, when you're talking about East Hall, you're talking about Jamarcus Harrison. The defense of North Hall is going to be keying on that. So who is going to be the guy that is going to step up other than Jamarcus Harrison in this game for East Hall? Is it Lucas Pruitt at running back? Is it Chasen Jones, who's their top receiver? So that'll be an interesting factor as well. And Jeff, you made a good point about the East Hall defense. Yeah, it's what's it going to be like? Is it truly as good as we think it might be?
That's what we're going to find out. Turner was also very realistic and said, hey, this is the biggest test we've had this year. This will tell us kind of where we are. I think that's how they're going into this game. I think if they're not competitive in this game, I think that will be a crushing blow to the Vikings. If they're competitive, can win it, lose late, but they're in the game the whole way, I think that will also be huge as far as the mental aspect of going forward, because he said the mental part of this is the bigger challenge for his group. You got the streak. They haven't been very competitive. They have a team they think can win this game. So I think actually there's probably more to lose for East Hall. I think Walker, like you said.
Put it, yep.
I think there's more to lose for East Hall. It's not if they lose, it's going to be the manner that they lose as to what we'll get the rest of the season.
Yeah. I know we're to get to your stat of the show here in a few minutes, Jeff, but the last 4 meetings, North Hall has averaged nearly 60 points per game in this. And if you go back to 14 years, they've scored over 730 points in the last 14 meetings. Meanwhile, on the other side, East Hall, I think, are right around 240. So if that tells you anything about how lopsided this rivalry has been over the years.
And they scored 42 in that one meeting. And so it's even worse than that.
It is. All right, guys, we got a couple more games here on the slate that are pretty big games. Number 2, Stevens County out of Class 2A, traveling over to number 2, Jefferson out of Class 3A. This game, Caleb, is a very interesting matchup in the fact that we're going to see the Indians' rushing attack along with a dual-threat quarterback, I believe, coming out of Stevens County versus a a Jefferson team that has, I think, found its rushing attack. At least they did last week against Clark Central.
Well, I think they found their offense just in general. I think Gavin Markey's playing at a really high level right now as well. And I think this is going to be a really, really good matchup for Jefferson. I think this could be the best team they play in the regular season outside of Marist. When you look at the region right now, Monroe area looks like they're really good. Oconee County has struggled. Cherokee Bluff's 3-0, but
North Oconee.
This Stevens County, well, they do have North Oconee. Yeah. That's right. I forgot about that one next week. But this is a very, very big matchup for them. Probably the biggest home game they'll have all year, outside of maybe I think Monroe area is at home. But this is a very, very big one. And I think, Walker, the thing that I want to continue to see is, do we continue to see this Jefferson offense progress? Because Javin Gordon is probably going to make some plays, but Jefferson's defense has been pretty good all year. I have a hard time seeing Stevens County waltzing in there and putting up a ton of points. What does Jefferson's offense look like is the bigger question to me.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think Gavin Markey has to continue his upward trajectory. I think the real other key in this game is going to be special teams, because we know that Stevens County's got a good defense and Jefferson's got a really good defense. So which team is able to win the game of field position, maybe by punts, maybe getting some field goals in this game, I think could really go a long way. But if Gavin Markey is able to continue what he's been doing, Jeff, throughout the past 2 weeks and getting this offense really, really moving up and down the field, Stevens County is going to be in for a long night trying to slow him down.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key. If Gavin Markey is able to find some traction in the passing game, which will open up that run game, and Stevens County has a solid defense, it's going to be a great matchup. But I think they might have a little more durability to kind of open things up a little bit. Yeah. So I like Jefferson in this game. I think it's a great matchup. Love to see games like this during the regular season, and we've talked about Stevens County the last 2 or 3 years. They come over this way, and they typically bring a very tough-minded, balanced team, and they've had a lot of success coming over this way. But Jefferson's a little different beast.
And there's another element to this that I think is interesting, which is with the playoff power ratings now, obviously it takes into account the winning percentage of the team that you've played, the opponent's winning percentage. Right. Jefferson's had a very tough schedule. It weights road wins bigger than home wins. This might be the most playoff rating points available to be grabbed by any team involved in any game that we've got Class 3A and below in our area for Stevens County if they were to beat Jefferson. It's like the max possible playoff points you can grab in a single game.
Which means they're going in looking to try to win this game. I think they know they can win this game. And I think it's going to be a great matchup. You talked about the defenses, Walker. I see a very low, when I say low scoring, 17 and below. I mean, like if there was an under of like 30 to 35 points, I'd probably take the under in this game. I don't see there's some great offensive players on both teams, but when you have defenses that are this good, your opportunities become very limited.
Well, you look at the progression of Jefferson since the Marist game, and again, the Marist game was 10-7 late third quarter before the delay happened. They lose that game to a very good Marist team. They play Jackson County. They beat Jackson County pretty handily. Then they play Clark Central, and it's last week. It's a slow kind of a build for them. And then you see 7 different players run the ball for like 287 yards. And then you think, okay, we're all used to Jefferson's rushing attack, right? We're all used to it, and that's kind of been the staple of their offense thanks to Sammy Brown. But then you got Gavin Markey, who we know can run the football as well. I mean, he went 99 yards for a touchdown against Jackson County. So that's another added dynamic to this offense for Jefferson. I believe this game is going to be just crazy insane.
I think it's going to be a great game.
You've got, kind of two teams that are a little bit similar with how they try to attack things. You might give the edge to Gordon in Stevens County, Walker on the rushing attack here, which will be a large task for the Jefferson defense, who, by the way, did okay against and I know they don't run triple option, but did okay against Maris's rushing attack for the most part.
I think the front seven for Jefferson is going to be very important for the Dragons to be able to get this win. I was going to say, if you're gonna try and get to this game, you might want to get to Memorial Stadium early. Because I don't know that there's gonna be many empty seats inside the stadium on Friday night.
Regardless of the game, I always recommend you get to Memorial Stadium early.
Yes.
That's true.
That.
Parking,
Always in every
Stadium.
time.
Worst. Well, I don't know. Gainesville's parking isn't great either, but
I will.
Jefferson's parking is worse.
I will
parking
sit
is worse,
there
though.
for an hour to wait on that game so I can have a decent parking spot.
I can remember one time going to a playoff game at Memorial Stadium and parking at the bank on 129 and walking.
Wow.
Might do that. Might have to do that this week. By the way, it's going to be a pretty nice crowd, I believe. All right, last game to talk about. Buford's at Roswell. I mean, this game is not big or anything, is it?
Really?
This one's interesting because you've got, and I say all of them are interesting because they are, but Buford and Coach App, his bag of wizardry that he has.
Yeah,
with
you
him.
haven't stopped talking about that for
I'm
2
telling
weeks.
you, look, we can talk about it since
I
he
would
became
love to
head
tell
coach
people
at
what-
Buford.
I would love to tell people what you said was the player of the game, but I can't.
Yeah, don't do that.
But it's absolutely true.
This game's at Roswell. Roswell, I think, is ranked 8th in Class 5A, and Buford's ranked 3rd in Class 6A. So this one, another test, probably, I'll just say this. I think Buford's probably got the toughest non-region slate in the state.
Oh, it may be 5 of their first 6
Gainesville
games.
could contend with that.
Gainesville,
probably.
They can, but 5 of Buford's first 6 opponents are ranked in the top 10.
By the way, they've got Mill Creek and Collins Hill in their region
Still.
also, which is pretty tough.
So, I'm hands down Buford has the toughest schedule in the state this year, although I think that some sort of model said Benedictine had the toughest region in the state, but...
Well, Jeff, you've seen Buford twice now.
Yes.
Your thoughts on this game?
On this game, how do you go against, based on what App and the offense pulled out a couple of weeks ago? How do you go against them? I mean, even if they look like they're out of the game, and they look like they were out of the game against Milton, and yet they had 2 possessions to try to tie or win the game. They're always in the game. That defense is insane good. It's so good. It's hard to really put into words. I mean, because they're taking some really good teams and they're just basically like, well, we'll give you this, and that's it. I mean, they're not being beat very often for big plays. They're forcing.
They've proven they can rally, though, and that's the biggest thing, Caleb, for Buford in this non-region schedule to prep them for what now is becoming a pretty tough region schedule with Collins Hill, tougher than it was, the previous 2 years. But Buford's proven that they can come back.
Yeah, definitely. And again, all my question marks about Buford are on the offensive side of the ball.
Yes.
Can they get?
Of course.
Can they? I just want to know with Buford, can they do anything consistently? We've seen flashes of them running the ball a little bit, but
you
not
look at the
consistently.
teams they've had to play. That's part of the issue. How good is this offense?
It is, but that's not going to change anytime soon.
No, it's not.
You've got to be able to do things against that level of competition if you want to win a state title in 6A, which they do.
They've done enough to go 2-1. It's hard to put into words. That's what I'm saying. They're a hard team to figure out right now.
But I just want to see, can they establish something offensively that's consistent? We've seen flashes in the passing game, but not consistently. We've seen flashes in the running game, but not consistently. Can we see them do anything consistently well against a team like Roswell? And by the way, you talked about 8-6A maybe being the toughest region in the state. Region that Roswell is in has a pretty good argument for that too, with Roswell number 7, Gainesville number 2, and Milton number 1 in the state in Class 5A.
Can I ask what you're pointing at, Caleb?
Not really anything. I'm just making gestures.
You.
Okay. Me? That didn't look like me. That eye line didn't look like me.
By the way, Seconders 3-0. By the way, Chattahoochee's 3-0.
I know, and if you want to take strength of total schedule, I will say Gainesville's probably right up there near the top.
But yeah, the Buford offense, again, back to the point about this game, is the question mark I think everybody's got.
We're not talking about Buford's defense, though. I know they're good, but hear me out on this. Roswell just put up 42 on Walton last week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Walton's defense pretty darn good, and they just put up 42 points. Benedictine, a team that really struggled to score for a long time against Rabun Gap, put up 28 on Buford. Mm-hmm. Buford's defense is going to have to come and play because, like you said, Caleb, the offense has not been consistent. So the defense is having to keep them in games week in and week out. The defense is going to have to find a way to slow down Roswell, Jeff, because if Roswell's able to do another 42 points like they did against Walton last week, the offense is going to have to click from the opening kickoff.
Look, I agree with that. There was a pick six, I believe, in that Benedictine game, so you can kind of take out one to score there. The Buford offense was really non-existent. Again, a pick six. They had other issues early in that game, fell behind 21-10. But in the second half, they've dominated all three of their games in the second half when they needed the defense. And that's what you're going to get. Look, they know the kind of teams they're playing. But I agree with you. They need consistency on offense, Caleb. You're right, Walker.
The question really becomes, is the defense going to be able to keep the game close enough for the offense to be a factor in the second half and the defense to slow them down, Bo? Because if it's a big hole at halftime, Roswell's defense can just start to bunker because Buford's going to have to throw the ball down the field. And when you're expecting pass, it's a lot easier to defend the pass.
Yeah, and you're talking about defense. Jeff's talking about offense. Caleb's talking about offense. Caleb's talking about offensive production. So how much does that play into time spent on field by the Buford defense?
Right.
If the offense, and we've seen this in every game, or every aspect every season, if the offense is 3 and out, or if the offense is not producing, then your defense is on the field a whole lot, which brings in fatigue factors, which brings in cramps, injuries, or whatever else. So, yeah, to Caleb's point, the offense, Caleb, it needs to produce.
People talk about complementary football. If you have a great defense, you don't necessarily have to have a great scoring offense. You just need to play complementary ball. What is that? You got to get some first downs. You got to get some first downs, and you got to keep that defense off the field. You've got to win field position battles. And there have been a lot of stretches of games so far this year where Buford hasn't done that.
Yep.
And you can have a great defense all you want, but at the end of the day, if you keep putting them in bad positions, you're going to pay with losses. So,
well, big game, Buford at Roswell. Of course, a lot of big games on the slate this week. We're going to take a break because it's time to get to our guest picker of the week. Guest picker this week, bringing in Tim Whitmire. So we'll bring him coming up in after the break as the Friday game night Pick'em show continues. Are we still live? Can they still hear us?
Yes.
Do you have music playing behind that commercial? I can't hear it.
I can't hear it either. There it is.
I can't hear it. One day, maybe. And welcome back to the show, folks. Hope you enjoyed that brief break. As welcome Tim Whitmire, our guest picker this week, to the show.
Music?
Where is our music? Do we have some music? I can't hear the. Oh, there it is. There it is. Now we can officially roll. Timmy, what's up?
Hello, gentlemen. How's everybody doing today?
Tim, the last time we did this Pick'em show and we were joining virtually, you were down in Jacksonville. I was in the Caribbean. How are we both in our home offices this week?
Fun times.
Delta gets us there. Let's go somewhere. I'm ready. I actually thought about putting some type of background like Vegas or the beach or something, but I.
You should have.
Slide to your right just
actually,
a second,
the background's
Tim.
pretty good.
Tim, slide to your right just a sec. No, to your right. Is that an upside-down Georgia logo?
No, it's just the way the camera's set up there, Jeff.
All right.
It's
Just
the way.
I do see the 1980
technology.
National Championship ashtray, though.
Yeah, there it is.
I like
that.
that.
I can't see.
No,
That's a
that is
dinner
actually
tray.
It's a dinner tray.
Dinner tray, not an ashtray.
Dinner tray.
Yeah, dinner tray.
Okay.
All right, Tim, are you ready to start picking this week? Because we're going to roll with pick order is Tim. He is first. Jeff, Caleb, Seth, Walker, myself. So
We didn't go over the records from last week, Bo, at the top of the show because too many good games.
Nobody cares about those records.
What were the records?
Nobody
Update
cares.
us.
Walker
I just wanted to
does.
say, I wanted to say
mute
Sutton
Walker.
Shirley. I wanted to say Sutton Shirley, much improved over last year.
Yes.
So congratulations to Sutton Shirley.
Yes.
He's still in last place so far this year.
Ooh.
Yeah,
but
well,
much improved from last year.
you know what? He beat me, so I'll give him that.
What were the records last week, and what are the overall records now?
Can we have a recount on that? I can't. That
Yeah,
cannot
recount.
That cannot be correct.
We
Seth
did have
won the
several
week.
recounts on Seth's record. He did win the week at
Ow.
12-5. See, look, he's
And
even
Jeff
shocked.
lost the week at 9-8.
And you lost the week at 9-8.
I had my worst week in the history. of
Caleb
the
and I
Pick'em show.
were 10-7. Walker was 11-6.
So who? What is the overall leaderboard right now, Walker, for the season?
Well, the guest picker is 3 games up on you,
Killing us.
Caleb.
Killing
They're
us.
38-13, but very
score of the
closely
Cherokee Bluff
behind
North Hall game.
you. The crazy thing is us 5 guys, we're separated by just 4 games.
Yeah.
None of us are tied.
No, but I'm last. So can we move on? Let's get to this week's picks.
Hey,
and there it is.
Wait.
don't
Tim's
worry,
got-
guys. Don't worry, guys. With some of these toss-up games this week, I may bring the guest pickers down. I'm
Thank
flipping
you.
coins.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that, Tim.
Our plan to bring the guest picker down will be complete. All right, Tim, well, you're up first, and we're going to start at the top of the list with Bethlehem Christian at Riverside.
I'm going Bethlehem Christian. I think they're a pretty good GIAA school. Riverside's still a growing program. Got a little ways to go before they can start competing, I think.
Bethlehem Christian.
Caleb.
Bethlehem Christian for sure.
Seth.
Bethlehem.
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 Bethlehem, a 54-point favorite,
Yes.
though. Dark horse dog potential.
I don't know. Buford at Roswell. Tim.
I went back and forth on this one. I'm changing my pick to Roswell. I had Buford earlier, but I think I'm going to go Roswell at home because of the points that they can put up.
Until I see different, I'm taking Buford. You got the Brian Appling factor, and I don't know how many points that's worth, but it's worth a lot.
My record picking against Buford is not great, but if I am anything, I am a man who does not learn from my mistakes, and so I will take Roswell.
Never a more accurate statement from Caleb. Never a more accurate
Seth?
statement. I've got to go with Buford. I really think they'll pull this one out, and I want to see them win.
Walker.
I think Buford has the momentum coming out of the Benedictine game, the dramatic win. I'm going to take the Wolves close.
This was, yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go with Roswell. I'm just going to say it.
A
That's
split
a
straight
split.
down the middle. Doesn't surprise me.
Cherokee Bluff at Habersham Central. Tim?
Cherokee Bluff will win big. Cherokee Bluff's defense is outstanding, so I'm going Bluff.
Big. Huge.
I'm going to go with the Bluff also. I like what I saw last week, and I just think they're a better team than Habersham.
I tell you what,
Seth is next.
Seth is next. I thought it was me.
No, it's
I'm
Caleb.
pretty sure it's
Okay.
Caleb.
It's Caleb.
I'm gonna.
Oh, it is Caleb. My
I'm
bad.
gonna hedge myself a little bit here on this one. I'm gonna take Bluff, close, and I think there's gonna be a lot of Bluff picks here. Just keep your eye on this one because I think this is a prime, like kind of sleepwalk potential situation here for Cherokee Bluff. Don't be surprised if Habersham is in this game late. But I'm going to take Cherokee Bluff because I've picked against them twice, and I'm 0-2 doing that. So I'm going to take Cherokee
I
Bluff.
thought you didn't learn from your mistakes.
I'm going to try to learn from this one.
Just this one.
Don't be surprised if Habersham is in this thing.
The Bears.
Habersham figured some stuff out this past week at White County. I know Trip Nix is kind of banged up right now for White County. I agree with you, Caleb. Very, very close, especially since this is in Mount Airy. I think the physicality for the Bears wins it late.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bears in this one. Chastity at East Forsyth.
I think East Forsyth wins this one comfortably, guys.
I'm going with East Forsyth.
Me too.
Agreed.
Closer than the experts think, but the Broncos win.
Yeah, the experts have EFO as a 27-point favorite, so I'm going to go with the Broncos in that one. Commerce at Madison County. The Tigers getting back on track last week. Jaden Daniels, QB1.
Flip a coin. I'm going Madison County since they're 2-0.
Who did you take?
Madison.
Okay.
He took the Red Raiders.
Raiders.
I don't know who is better, Luella or Madison. I see them kind of the same, very similar offense to Commerce. Hard to beat them at their own game. So I'm going to take Commerce, but I think this could be one of the better games of the week.
I like Madison.
Give me Commerce.
I'm going to take Commerce as well. Second half offense looked really, really good against Luella. Like you said, Jeff, very similar teams. I think Commerce can get another win on the road and get back to 500.
You could have just said coattails. And done.
One of my favorite places to call a football game, Madison County. Great venue. You're on the field. It's just a fantastic place to watch a football game, in my opinion. Commerce Week 2 with Jaden Daniels at quarterback. Could they just be getting fired up? I'm going to pick Commerce in this one. Dalton at Rabun County.
Well, is this the time for my stat
Dalton,
of the show?
In just a minute, let's make our picks, and then we'll go. Well,
who did you pick
actually
real quick?
roll.
Sorry.
Let's do the
who did I
stat of the
pick?
show first.
Who did I pick?
Yeah, Commerce.
Commerce. I picked
Madison.
Commerce.
I missed it.
All right, let's roll with Jeff Hart's stat of the show.
All
And
right.
there it is. I heard it a little bit in my
didn't hear
ear,
a
just
thing.
a little bit.
I didn't hear a thing. It's okay. Look,
Shocking.
I thought this was an incredible stat.
Well, I've got some news for you. Do you see the brick wall behind you?
Okay.
Physically here? But it is there.
Yeah.
I assure you the sound is there.
Okay. Thank you for that.
I heard it.
Pay
That
no
was-
attention to the
that
man behind
was
the
not
curtain.
the stat of the show. by
Yeah,
the way.
give us the stat of the
So
show.
Rabun County has gone 137 games since dropping consecutive games in the same season. The last time that happened was in 2013 when they lost to Jefferson and Washington Wilkes during the regular season in the old Region 8-2A. The reason I bring that up, they're coming off a loss. Ty Truelove is still day-to-day. We don't know if he's going to play. They're playing a much bigger school in Dalton, even though they're at home. That's a long streak, and I think it could be in jeopardy this week. So that's the stat coming into this one.
Tim, you're up.
Well, Jeff's stat didn't change my mind. I went Rabun County because Dalton is down this year.
I hate to go against Rabun, but I'm going to take Dalton. I mean, odds say they're going to be a little bit bigger. And if Ty Truelove doesn't play, they've scored 7 points.
Dalton is struggling a lot this year. I'm going to take Rabun County at home. Hopefully, we see Ty Truelove back in action.
Rabun at home.
They had a bye week last week too, correct, Rabun?
Yes.
It's a week for Ty Truelove to get healthy. I like Rabun County to win big.
By the way, there was only one stat from you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Are you
It
okay
was
this
a true
week?
stat of the
It was
show.
a true stat
Make
of
sure-
the show.
Does he have a fever?
Yeah.
Does he have a fever?
All of my stats are just one stat. Thank you very much. What y'all
Shocking.
do? No, they're all one stat.
I'm
You
picking
just-
Rabun.
You just find these things to try to nitpick it.
I've
It's
got
always
Rabun.
only one. Thank you.
I've got Rabun. Dawson
you.
County
He'll
and
make up-
Banks County, Tim.
Ask me why he does that, Jeff.
He'll make up for it next
Ask
week.
me why he does that.
Why
Bless
does
you.
he do that?
Because it's garbage. And the editor
I thought you were going to play basketball. It's magical.
Oh, that's coming
a football
later.
show.
That's
Yeah.
coming later.
Yeah, it's coming later. All right, Dawson County and Banks County, Tim.
The voice
Don't
of the
talk about
Dawson County
basketball right
Tigers,
now.
Tim Whitmire, with the pick.
Do I get to pull a Herb Street since I'm calling the game after analyzing? No.
Sure.
I'm going
Go ahead.
I'm going Dawson County because I think Dawson sees this as a game that they need to win, and they match up better with Banks than they have with either other opponents. So I'm going Dawson County.
18
I tell you what,
point
I
favorite.
think it's an 18-point spread. That's really shocking. I'm going to take Banks County in this because I've talked to Todd Winter. He really feels, except for a couple of plays, they'd be 2-0. That defense, it's really interesting. It's not like anything anybody has seen. I think it's going to give Dawson County fits, and if they can get that rushing game going in that triple option, I'm taking Banks.
Their defense has been good. It's hard to win when you don't score, though, and Banks hasn't been scoring. I'm going to take Dawson County on the road.
You know what? Give me Banks County.
I am siding with Caleb and Tim on this one. I think that Dawson's defense can slow down the triple option enough and get some short fields for Preston Bannister to get the guys going. Give me the Tigers.
Yeah, go Tigers. I'm going to pick the Tigers in this one.
There's a shock.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I haven't picked them all year.
It's a little bit of a shock,
I haven't
actually.
picked them all year, Jeff.
You went with the Kirk Herbstreit comparison, Tim. Bo's like the David Pollock of Dawson County, the former player who picks against him every week.
Okay, moving on. Dunwoody at Lumpkin County. This was an interesting game.
I'm going
by the
Lumpkin
way.
County on this one. Yeah, I think Dunwoody's athleticism may give Lumpkin some fits, but I think Lumpkin pulls this one out in the second half.
This is another one of those bigger school against smaller schools. But
Which
I
coach did you talk to? Any of them?
I didn't talk to any of them this week. But I'm going to take Lumpkin.
I'm going to take Lumpkin also. Not going to lie, I forgot that it was my turn. Completely
The
forgot.
awkward moment of silence.
Like, me and Caleb were like, who's forgetting here? One of us is. Lumpkin.
That was not very
Lumpkin
convincing.
at home. I said it in 5 things.
Here comes
Old
the
City's
magic.
A little bit of a magical place.
Play it.
And you know, basketball is magical.
Wait a second. Before we move on to this,
This is my life
I don't
become.
really
Magical.
really
Look.
there is a magic
Look,
in Delaney.
listen. Let me
that what you're telling
let me
me?
jump on the magic carpet ride. I'll throw out. Lumpkin wins this one.
Look, they're 12-1 at home under Heath Webb, but I mean, this is not a place that puts a lot of or
East Hall.
traditionally should put a lot of fear. Where's the fear coming from now, Walker and Lumpkin?
It's called the burial grounds, Jeff.
Called the burial grounds, Jeff.
I mean, come on, Jeff. All right, let's move on.
Is
East
it magical?
Hall.
Is it magical?
East Hall at North Hall, Tim.
No.
Well, Jeff said 12-1. Who's the one loss against, Jeff?
They have more than one loss.
I thought they were 12-1 in the regular
It's count
season.
playoffs.
I'm
Then
sorry,
maybe in the regular season, yeah.
they're 12-1 at home.
Tim wants to know the one loss.
Was that Dawson County?
It was.
Why do you think he wants to know?
I know. I gave it to him.
Just saying. Talking about a magical place, and the Brickyard can be that way, and I think it will be on Friday night, North Hall over East.
I really don't like going this early in these.
I'm glad I got last.
Yeah, can I default my pick until after Bo?
No.
No, not at all.
No.
Congratulations. No one cares.
AKA make your pick.
Yes, move on, Jeff. Let's
Tell you
go.
what, I'm feeling it this week for the Vikings. In the upset, I'm gonna take East Hall.
I am going with North Hall.
Turn it up real loud, though.
Remember, I don't know where in the world it is.
Now, Seth, make your pick because I'm going to call for it here in a minute.
Okay.
Just make your pick.
You know what? Yeah, give me East Hall on this one.
Seth, play my music.
East Hall, East Hall, East Hall, East Hall,
Give me the Vikings.
Hall.
Who is that? Who is that
You're
guy?
going to act like you don't know
I
who
thought
that is.
that is not Whitney Houston.
You're not going to.
That wasn't Whitney Houston
That's
doing
one
the
of the
national
most,
anthem.
It's one of the most uninspiring things I've ever heard.
You know what? You're not
Okay,
terribly correct.
I'm gonna revisit the picks here. We've got Tim at North Hall. We've got Jeff Rowe here at East Hall. We've got Caleb
North Hall.
Seth East Hall, and Walker East Hall. Give me the Vikings.
East Hall, East Hall, East.
I can do it better. I can do it better.
Let me just say, I'm glad I'm over at
We'll
Jefferson.
re-record this later. We'll
I hope
re-record
you can
this.
do it better.
Yeah, I hope you could do it better. All right, East Jackson
Sounds like
at
a recording of a recording.
This was an interesting game. East Jackson at White County, and the Warriors are a 7-point favorite. Tim.
I'm going East Jackson. I think they're a pretty good team. They're just getting better each week.
I was really high on the Warriors coming into this season, and I'm not sure really if Trip Nix is not 100%, as you said, Walker, that's definitely a concerning point for the Warriors. And the way East Jackson's playing right now, I'm going to take the Eagles on the road in another upset.
I got East Jackson.
I was about to say, before
where-
Caleb.
where's
before-
the-
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, before Caleb goes, no, you're right. You are supposed to go, but can me, Caleb, and Walker all do it at the same time?
Oh, absolutely.
Do
All right,
what?
here we got timing,
One,
friends. 2, 3.
The noise
By the way,
Bo is
shout
what
out
really
to
sells it.
Seth Chapman gaining the edge, Drew Richardson this week.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Great video. Great going out there talking to Coach Pettis and all those guys.
Man, this was a tough pick here, in my opinion. But give me some room on the coattails. East Jackson in this one.
Woohoo. Also on that feature, just peep the background. On a few shots, you'll see a couple people running back and forth between the shots.
Flowery Branch at Hart County.
Hart County.
Yeah, I'm going to take Hart County.
What did
Hart
this
County.
one? So this line was very close then, since we don't have it on
It
the
was.
sheet, right?
It was. I think Hart County was a 3-point favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeff's last name is
Hart
There you go.
County.
Yeah,
Spelled
the
the same
Bulldogs
way.
looked really good in Dahlonega last week. I think that they take it home and get a big win.
They just couldn't overcome the magic.
That's
Caleb.
it.
Oh, is it my go?
Here we go.
I'm going to pick Hart County. Greenville, South Carolina at Towns County.
It's Greenville Hurricanes. They're an independent team.
Okay, well,
Similar
the
in the
Hurricanes
Geor-
are not on the schedule.
I know
but
that-
they're Greenville from South Carolina
They're-
at Towns County,
oh,
who has a Hurricane mascot.
It's like the Georgia Force.
Okay, Tim?
That's what they're like.
Both teams are ranked 49th in their respective classifications in each state.
Ooh,
I'm
digging
going
deep.
Greenville on the road.
Digging deep. I'm going to take Towns County.
I like Towns.
Yes. To Towns.
Yeah, I was supposed to say, yes. To Towns.
I'm going to take the Indians at home.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the Indians as well. Lakeview Academy at Piedmont Academy. Tim?
Wow, this is another tough one. Lakeview 7th in their class. Piedmont's 9th. Lakeview's scoring more points, but Piedmont Academy is a long ride down to Monticello, so I'm going Piedmont Academy and a close one.
I think I learned my lesson. Unlike Caleb, I learned from my mistakes. I'm taking Lakeview.
Kiari Birch, difference maker. This is a big game for Lakeview, by the way, to start off district
Huge.
play. I am taking the Lions on the road.
Lions as well.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Caleb. Kiari Birch is the difference. Give me Lakeview.
Yeah, I got to go with Lakeview here. They're scoring some points. They're a 6-point favorite in this game. I think they start off district play the right way. Murray County at Union County, which is a 42-point favorite to win this game. Tim?
I'm going Union County.
Towns beat Murray 42-0. This is a tough one. I'm going to take.
Just
I'm going to
take
take
it.
Union. I'll take Union.
So we know it's been well documented, all the offensive trouble that Union's having with their quarterback being out for the year. But Walker, to resurrect a thing that we did a couple times last year and
here
the
we
year
go.
before, Murray County, bad. Murray County's bad. I got Union.
I think Walker kind of forgot.
I forgot about
He
that.
kind of forgot. He was like, okay, ready, go. What are you going to
I was
say?
like, what are you doing?
I got Union.
Union.
This has dark horse dog potential all over
Oh,
it.
my God. Tell me
I just wanna
about it.
say that
It's hard
right
to see
now.
one of these teams
I'm
putting up
taking
42
Union.
points.
No.
I'm taking Union, but that's a 42-point swing if somebody wants to take it.
That's a huge swing. I'm going to go with Union County in this one. Stevens County at Jefferson, who is a 14-point favorite. Tim?
I'm going Jefferson.
I'm going to take Jefferson also.
I've got Jefferson.
Caleb, you're being summoned if you could. You've made your pick. Could you step outside for a moment?
Yeah, I can step out.
Yes. I don't want you here anymore. Get out of here.
You're fired.
I'm tired of your presence. Please leave.
Is this the first time we've ever fired somebody directly on the show?
He's not fired.
No, I was we're just kidding, folks. He was
Okay.
needed. So you need to go?
Me?
You make your pick?
Oh, yeah. It's like, no, I'm here to produce a show all day, but
You're fired. Nah.
I'm firing myself.
Stevens at Jefferson.
Oh, yeah, give me Jefferson.
Walker Tucker.
Stevens covers, Jefferson wins.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jefferson in a close one. West Hall at Johnson, the Battle of Oakwood.
I hope it's a battle.
Tim.
West Hall easily.
West Hall.
West Hall.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Spartans at home. I got a little bit of flack from Crofton Montgomery on the scoreboard show on Friday night.
Yeah, you did.
I learned my lesson,
Yeah,
Coach.
you did. That was fun.
I learned my lesson.
Yeah, and shout out to them. They've watched the show now, so that's good. That's good. Shout out to them. Yeah, I'm going to go with West Hall. What do they call them? West Hall, Best Hall? They're a 26-point favorite in this. I think it might be by more than that. So, all right, the final pick of the show, Lanier Christian Academy at St. Francis. Tim?
Oh, I didn't have that on my sheet.
Yeah, I forgot. Sorry, I forgot to send you that one. 6-point favorites, St. Francis. This was one that was not on the schedule I sent you, by the way. Thanks, Jeff. Didn't throw Jeff under the bus at all right there. No.
Ow,
Yeah.
that hurt.
I'll go St. Francis on that one.
Okay. Jeff?
Who did you pick? I didn't hear it because it was
Pick
whining.
St. Francis.
Okay. I'm going to take St. Francis.
Same.
You know what?
Ooh, here we go. Here's a you-know-what.
I'm going to take LCA.
Ooh, boy.
There we go.
Okay.
All right.
Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick.
It's not.
Not a terrible pick. I think I'm going to go with you, Walker. I'm going to pick the Lightning to win this game.
Okay.
There it is. And there are the picks for this week. We got to think.
We'll catch up with Caleb.
We'll catch up with
later.
Caleb. We'll get his picks. There's only 3 there, but we'll get Caleb's picks. And Tim, roll our music. Do we have music here? Don't we have music here?
No.
Why don't we have
No.
music here?
Why
We've got to get outro
Fine,
music
we'll
for
get
him.
music here.
Tim, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks, guys, for having me again.
All right, Tim, you got the call of the Dawson County. Who's Dawson playing? Banks County
I
game,
think
right?
I think that could be
Homer.
one of the better. I think it's going to be a really fun game, Tim. What do you see in that
Look,
one?
guys, it's going to rain. Well, first of all, it's going to rain Friday night. It's a prediction. So that could change a lot of things we've talked about. I just hope they have me inside the press box is all I'm hoping for. The triple option is going to be a challenge for Dawson County. I think if the Tigers can maintain the corners and keep the game inside, they'll be okay. That's where East Jackson got on Dawson. They got on edge a lot. So I'm sure Banks has studied that film. I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think it's less than 10 points either way, whoever wins that one.
Game live over on NorthGeorgiaSportsLink.com, as well as the Dunwoody-Lumpkin County game, also on the Sports League. So check those out. Tim, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it as always.
Thank you, guys.
Dark Horse Dogs coming up here next after this break.
I'll go ahead and drop, guys. Thanks again.
See you, Tim. Back. Welcome, guys. Dark Horse Dogs. Dogs.
Well, so where was Caleb in the
Caleb
order?
has left us for the Dark Horse Dogs.
And
Maybe
he was
we
up
should
first.
Maybe we should pause and wait. Should we pause and wait?
Well, let's not. Let's keep the recording going. I'm right in the middle of a fantasy football draft right now.
Yeah, you
It's a
are.
new segment.
Do. Yeah. So who you
so
pick?
Who was your first pick?
So I auto drafted the first.
I'm going to
the
run
first
some
pick
recon
because
on our
we were
friend
right in
Caleb.
the middle.
I'll be right back.
So I've got picks 10 and 11. So into the first round, beginning of the second round, kind of I got Saquon and Malik Neighbors as my first 2 picks. I then got James Cook and Devon Achane. And then Cooper Kupp and Sam Laporta.
So do you feel?
So now,
Kupp,
I really need quarterback coming up.
Do you feel Kupp is going to have? Is he ready for a comeback season?
I'm going to take my chances on yes.
Who's your quarterback?
So what
Who was your quarterback?
That's what I said.
He's
Quarterback's coming up with the next pick. So that's where I'm going to get feedback from the room here, since we're still recording, I'm assuming.
Who's left?
So I've got Anthony Richardson, Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy, Jaden Daniels, Aaron Rodgers as the top 5 available.
why did you mention the other 4 before Aaron Rodgers?
Because Aaron Rodgers is ranked 118th in projected points because of the Achilles. We don't know. Kirk Cousins is still available. Caleb Williams is still available. Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, all still available.
Do you think Tua can he duplicate that system? He led the
Brock
NFL in
Purdy.
passing.
Brock Purdy.
You think Brock Purdy? Because I was kind of leaning toward Jaden Daniels.
I was about to say Jaden Daniels.
I like Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
I think of the rookie guys coming in, he could have the best season of them all.
I do have back-to-back picks coming up. So,
But how do you feel about, say, Deshaun? I feel like Deshaun, if he's healthy, he's ready.
Would be interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, but I just don't know, and I feel like I can get him off the waiver wire. I think I'm going to go Jaden Daniels with the 7th round pick.
Not a bad pick at all.
But how?
So then the question becomes, who do I go with going right back? Because I got the next pick as well.
I feel Aaron Rodgers is
what do
not
you
really going to have
need?
an issue. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to have an issue. Why would you not take
What are
Aaron Rodgers?
you going to need after the pick?
I've got all my positions full at this point. So other than defense and kicker, which,
Right.
So I can go with anybody here.
So
I can go with my second quarterback. I can go Chris Godwin,
that's what I
DeAndre
did.
Swift,
I would
Zamir White.
I would grab the next quarterback.
I think so. Yes.
So I think I go Anthony Richardson then.
Yeah.
So Seth returns.
Why him?
Why him?
All right, friends, we're going to go to a
Because
break.
He's going to run the football a lot.
Got to take a break.
Let's take a break, friends.
We'll take a break. Be right
we're
back.
in the middle of our nice little fantasy football talk.
We're going to let you have some fantasy football talk. We'll take a break. Be right back after this, folks. Although it was fun talking about Walker's fantasy football draft, it's time now to get to the Dark Horse Dogs picks this week. And Caleb had to run with a news situation, so we'll get his Dark Horse Dog later. So that'll move up in the pick order. We'll just go ahead and just shift the pick order. Walker, you go first, Seth, myself, and Jeff. So, Walker, you've got the first pick this week, and, of course, I guess we need to give the standings. Jeff is ahead, 46
Jeff's
points.
3-0 in this.
He is 3-0. He won last week.
You say that with doubt.
There
as
is.
if I don't know what I'm doing.
Here's why I say
You
that.
get so
Because
lucky.
you have said, I don't like any of these picks the last 2 weeks, and you still win them. I don't know why you keep complaining.
In last week's Versailles Central pick, he was like,
I told you to
Yeah.
pick that, and you're like, okay, I guess I will, since I was the only one
Yeah.
who picked Versailles Central to win. I should get half of your points.
No.
All right,
I'm just saying I
he
should.
tried to pull that last year, and we didn't let him.
Yeah, no.
So
No.
All right, so it's Jeff in the lead. I'm in second with 16 points. Walker followed
Wait, how many
15.
points did I have?
Caleb 11 and Seth 11. You have 46 points, Jeff. You won your pick last week.
30
I won my
points
pick.
ahead of second
Walker won
place.
his pick. Caleb lost his dog, and Seth won his dog. So this week, Walker, you get to go first. What say you?
I am going to stick with East Hall in this one, 12-point underdog. It's not the biggest pick. Like I mentioned, Murray County is very enticing with a 42-point underdog, but I'm going to take a little bit of what I think might be a safer pick. Still not a safe pick, but a safer pick. Give me East Hall plus 12.
All right, Walker. Seth.
Oh, give me Commerce plus 5.
Look. I'm swinging for the fences this week, guys. I am going for the grand salami.
Oh, boy.
I am going for the win. I'm going for a big makeup in points here. Give me Murray County, baby.
He took Union to win, but he's taking Murray for the 42.
Bring it home, Murray County. Don't be as bad. Be better. There we go.
And here's why I'm just better than y'all. Y'all keep putting me last, and I keep getting the right one. Except now I'm really upset because that was the one I was going to pick.
Yeah, so who you picking?
Thank you very much. Can we take
Riverside?
a commercial break while I think about this?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. We already had way too many.
Let me just hand you one on a silver platter
Don't
again.
do it
picked Banks
again.
County to
No,
beat
I don't
Dawson.
need your help. I don't need your help. Go back to your magical Dahlonega. I don't need your
you
help.
should probably pick Banks County since you picked Banks County to
That
win.
was where I was going.
Well, there you go.
So I'm
Yeah.
going to go with Banks.
That-
Plus
that a boy.
18.
That a boy. Hey, roll our music, Seth. Roll it. Can you roll our music? Can we get out of here? Ah, there it is. Hey,
That's the wrong music.
it
but
is.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, good.
There.
You know.
Hey, good luck with your quarterback hunt, by the way.
Hey, yes, good luck with the rest of your draft, by the way. And by the
Thank
way, Thursday night quarterback coming up tonight, AM 550, 102.9. It's West Hall's Carlton Montgomery and Johnson's William Harrell will be in studio to talk about the Battle of Oakwood. That's coming up tonight over on AM 550 and FM 102.9. Speaking of radio, games coming up
Please, I'm
Friday
so
night.
confused. I'm
You are
confused.
so confused of the games that we are doing on air, right?
Yes, because you changed them. So I had
yeah.
them memorized.
Will you have them memorized?
I did. I don't now.
So you don't have them
I have
memorized
no idea.
because I just forgot which games were on
I know where
550.
they are.
So
Stevens County at Jefferson on FM
It's like you
102.9.
guys just
The Battle
want the show
of
to go
Oakwood is
That's
on
right,
AM
but-
550.
that's right. And don't forget about East Hall, North Hall over 94.5. They're like, couldn't think of the
Yeah.
battle. Jeff's rubbed off on me this morning. Sorry, folks.
You're welcome.
Tailgate show starts at 6, just after 6 on Friday. And follow us on X at Friday Game Night. And don't forget to
Don't
check out.
forget about the Hardy Chevrolet scoreboard show after the game's finished.
That's right. You can end your night with Caleb and Walker.
And we are
They'll
so
bring you
busy on
home.
the
It's so
weekend.
busy. It's so busy.
I love it.
Hey, go to the website on Friday night. Find out highlights, photos, stories, and much, much more. It's Friday Game Night, week number 4. We hope you enjoy it. Bye-bye.
Let's go, Rangers.
It's not hockey season
Is it even
yet.
hockey season yet?